una producción que también a Andrés le gustaría hablar, que es Steel Guy, porque es una megaproducción, porque es la primera película, desde mi concepto, desde mi perspectiva, de que tanto la historia de Corea del Sur y Corea del Norte se unen en esta historia. Entonces, yo te quiero preguntar no solo la experiencia, sino también de cómo visualiza usted que a través de ese complemento, de las diferencias que hay entre ambos países, se logre en una historia como hacer fuerza en ella.
Okay, we will start with the sequel of a really good franchise that is Still Rain 2. Jhon and myself, we love this kind of movies that miss this complicated subject about the relationship between the two Koreas. Also, this movie got an amazing ensemble from actors from all over the world, like yourself. So, if you can tell us more about this project, we will start talking about Still Rain 2.
Oh, it's excellent. That's a good memory for me. Um, but maybe not as deep into the movie as you're going to be interested in, because surprisingly, that was actually my first acting job ever in my life. And I had just one day of shooting on that. My role wasn't very critical to it, and so on that day we were filming in an old hotel in the woods, just back from the East Coast here in South Korea, and beautiful, beautiful hotel. And a lot of the interior was shot in different places within that hotel. I remember being at dinner that night, and some of the other actors, I did run into a lot of friends I had, because I've been photographing actors and models here in Korea for quite a while. And so I was surprised how many people I knew were working on that movie. And at dinner, people would see some of the stars of the movie and get excited, and oh, there's so and so, and this is so and so, and I didn't know who anybody was, and really wasn't familiar at all. And my filming, it took about 4 or 5 takes, and a lot of it was, for my part, they were figuring out how to get the cameras all clicking and flashing just right for what they had in mind. And my lines were short and pretty simple. The initially it was only 2 lines, and they added a couple more, and they said, "Oh, well, it's okay though. You can just read from the paper, because as you see in my scene, I'm just holding a piece of paper and reading as if I'm at a press conference and announcing at a press conference." But during the hair and makeup, they took my glasses away and gave me some better looking prop glasses that didn't do anything for me. So I couldn't actually just read from the paper. I had to memorize the lines. And I remember somebody saying, "Oh, it's no problem. You can do it. You're an actor." And it was kind of that first thought in my head, like, "Oh, I guess I got to be an actor."
But you started great, man, because it's a great production. I will translate because Jhon will love to know this data. Jhon,
You've got a lot to translate now.
don't worry, man. It will be a pleasure. Jhon, es que es increíble porque primero Michael nos cuenta que él tuvo un pasado como fotógrafo y que él, para él era increíble ver que una gran cantidad, tú sabes que es una superproducción, y que él mientras estaba en esa producción veía un montón de gente que él ya había fotografiado. Y pues para él era una locura ver pues digamos como que cómo el público reaccionaba a pues a las conferencias de prensa y toda la película. Sabes que ahí está lo mejor no solo de Corea, sino también, por ejemplo, de Inglaterra. Dice, no, es que no me lo vas a creer, todo fue grabado en un hotel que quedaba en el bosque de la costa de este de Corea, o sea, y tú ves que esa locación parece, en realidad, no parece un bosque como tal, un hotel, y todo fue grabado ahí, y hay una anécdota buenísima. Tú sabes muy bien que él tiene que decir un discurso. Él dijo, listo, no importa, lo puedo leer mientras Y hasta el director le dijo, puedes leerlo mientras está en la escena. Pues le quitaron las gafas. Técnicamente lo memorizó porque le dijeron, no te preocupes, tú eres actor, puedes hacerlo desde ahí. Michael interiorizó, que bueno, pues sí, soy
Wow.
un actor.
El de Nobel,
Y yo le
sí.
dije, y
Genial.
empezaste por lo grande, sí,
Wow, increíble, no.
increíble.
Es máster, es impresionante.
I translate everything. I resume it and Jhon says amazing.
Wow,
Jhon,
Yeah,
dale.
actually, there's one little story there. I have a really close friend, professional actor here in Korea, many years of experience. And after having that as my first role, we were discussing, and he said, "Man, I'm so jealous of you. I've been working here in Korea for so long. This guy's done television shows. He's done roles that people would be excited and jealous of." He said, "I'm jealous of you because I've never had a speaking role in a movie. A lot of the guys here, that's all we do. Even I've done many just extra roles just for fun, and never get a speaking role. And I've done several movies now, and almost all of them had some kind of speaking part."
Wow, Jhon aquí nos cuenta algo buenísimo. Él tiene un amigo muy cercano que ha trabajado muchísimo, muchísimo en la industria allá y él le dijo, te tengo envidia porque yo he trabajado una gran cantidad de proyectos y nunca me han dado una línea. Y increíblemente, y obviamente, sabes muy bien, creo que tú vas a preguntar, donde hay unos papeles donde él ha hecho de extra, pero generalmente en los proyectos que ha trabajado él, y que creo que son más, espero no los cuento ahorita, siempre ha tenido líneas. O sea, wow.
increíble. No, y también hablar sobre Space Sweepers, que son barrenderos especiales, porque es que, vean, la historia es increíble porque es sobre el futuro del año 2092, si no estoy mal. O sea, yo quiero saber sobre cómo usted describe el futuro en el cine y también, ¿será que Dorothy, en términos general, ayudará o no a salvar la Tierra?
Speaking about roles in which you play as an extra, it will be great that you tell us about your work in Space Sweepers, but also how do you imagine the future? And maybe because that's the question from John, your future in this industry. And somehow Dorothy can save us.
Yeah, I always think of my presence in this industry as my hobby. I'm uh, if I was in the States, I probably would never move to Hollywood, especially at my age. It wasn't something that was in my plans. But when I came to Korea, I pretty quickly learned about there's opportunities to work as an extra in movies, which I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I want to do that. And there's several agencies here that are always looking for people that are foreigners because you gotta mix foreigners into your movies. And they seem to the experience isn't always what's most important. It's what's more important is fitting the part and fitting the role, and then they tend to be more patient with our lack of experience that sometimes we bring. Although there are guys here that are total professionals, this is their career, and several times I've been up against them for parts and been obliterated towards getting it. Space Sweepers, right? This Space Sweepers is one of those extra roles for sure. I think I spotted the hat I was wearing in a crowd, and yet that's one that I probably have had more friends that had some sort of part in that, or actors or models I'm photographing. If Space Sweepers comes up, I've had so many that said, "Oh, I was in that. I was this person and that person." And I only recognized one or two of them when watching the movie. There was that police commander who comes through the ship, and he's looking for the little girl, and he's basically trying to bribe them or something to that effect. that was one of the actors I had photographed, and while we're discussing the movie, he's telling me, "Oh yeah, I was in that," and I had to go back and watch again because I didn't remember what his role was. He had a great role in that, and I was real happy for him. I ultimately, because I'm tall, they had me wearing some beanie. And eventually, about the second or third time I watched the movie, I saw my beanie in the crowd. But it was nothing like I imagined when we're filming. They had me walking straight towards the camera, and the main actors are running past me, and I'm thinking in my head, "Oh, this is gonna be so cool to see myself." And it's like they didn't really use that stuff, so um, that was really a big long day of waiting around without much to do. Uh, there, of course, those main actors are really popular here in Korea, and it was kind of fun to watch. There was the agent that I was working for that time was sitting and talking to me, and one of the male actors, the lead actor, walked by, and she just stopped for a second as if her heart stopped, and then she got all flustered, and when she came back to me, confessed how excited she was to just see him that close. Uh, I tend to. I think I have the advantage of not being Korean here. That when I meet people who are famous, I don't get flustered. Uh, a lot of times I don't even recognize them, which I'll tell you about in a story on one of the films coming up. I'm sure that you're going to ask me about.
Considera incluso esta parte de la actuación como un hobby, que es una locura porque en esta película volvió a ocurrir algo que incluso fue en la película donde más encontró amigos actuando. Dice que a veces que para él es muy loco porque las sesiones de casting allá dice que a veces obliteran a los actores, o sea, hay gente que ha ido años y años a castings. Es muy gracioso porque él dice que alcanzó a verse en la película, él usa un beanie, o sea, un sombrerito porque como él es muy alto, alcanzó a verse. Dice que también es una locura porque incluso hay una escena muy importante en la película donde un policía se acerca buscando a la niña a un actor y ese actor es un amigo de él. Y que incluso eso lo llevó a repetir la película como que, oye, sí, espere, este amigo que quiero mucho está acá. Dice que él toma mucha ventaja incluso pues de ser obviamente extranjero, porque generalmente pues cuando hay reuniones, como que no ocurre pues como esa pasión, porque tú sabes que allá hay mucha pasión por los actores y las actrices y todo eso. Dice también que hubo un encuentro muy chévere con el protagonista de la película porque fue una de las primeras personas como que él fotografió y ahorita es un gran actor, tú sabes, ha salido en varios doramas y todo. Dice que incluso que él sospecha que esto de ser extranjero le va a hacer surgir en una pregunta, una producción que tú le preguntes después. Me gustaría también que le preguntes obviamente sobre su trabajo de fotógrafo, pero bueno, continúa. No, pero continuamos.
A ver, pregúntale sobre la fotografía, pero yo le complemento algo a usted y es, ¿crees que alguna vez se rompen los paradigmas de que, bueno, yo sé que los cadramas, como lo conocemos tanto en América Latina y como se visualiza más allá, en Corea y en parte de Asia, ¿crees que en Corea se necesita el protagonista de un cadrama que seas un extranjero? ¿Puede ser tú?
Wow. Okay, Jhon, this is so unscripted because we want you that you tell us more about your career as a photographer. But Jhon got an interesting question. Of course, you know that the K-dramas, the doramas are everywhere, even here in Latin America. They translated and everything to Spanish. Do you consider that somehow, if we are mistaken, please correct us, that one of these K-dramas need like a lead that is in Korean, because I don't know, maybe you leading a K-drama, dorama, being the main protagonist, I don't know, because it will be like breaking the whole mold, no? They always expect that the opas or the idols being the protagonists of the K-dramas or the dramas, but do you imagine like starring one somehow?
Oh, do I imagine starring in one? Not exactly. not like you're describing. I can't imagine that I don't think I have the personality. I definitely am not thin enough to star in something in Korea, in the traditional Korean drama kind of sense. I actually my roles tend to be, when I get roles, I'm like the rich white asshole that they want in the movie, you know, and those guys don't necessarily carry a whole movie. It's really that would be something. Although I will give you some breaking news. I did start writing a mockumentary with a Korean friend who's a filmmaker, and maybe we'll start shooting this summer. Even it'll be totally independent. It'll be totally low budget, but kind of playing on the idea that being that kind of character, that person who is a foreigner in Korea and thinks of himself as highly as other people imagine. So I think because I really don't think there's any fame to what I've done, what I'm doing. It's hobby to me. It's fun, and meeting people like you is fun, but it's not a career. But I'd like to imagine being that character who thinks as highly of himself and thinks the public thinks, you know, adores him, and all those things, and all the comedy that could come from that.
But you gave us a great breaking news, man. I will tell you.
No, but it's a long ways away.
No, no, John will enjoy it. John, es que dice que, obviamente, que dice que no se acerca al estereotipo, pero que nos saca una noticia. Aún dice que incluso él ve esta entrevista como diversión, obviamente que le parece muy interesante y que él quiere jugar con esa percepción que a veces se tiene de él como actor, que incluso él dice que siempre que le dan papeles y dice que lo toma para bien, es como el esposo extranjero que es un pendejo, lo dice así, pero que, y con mucho dinero, ¿no? Pero que dice que, aquí breaking news, con un amigo va a hacer un documentario de él como actor, de bajo presupuesto, burlándose completamente de los estereotipos que se tienen a él como las actuaciones y todo, por lo que le agradecemos. Él dice que no, que eso está muy lejos de ser una breaking news, pero no, yo de mi parte sí le
No, en
agradezco
serio, no.
porque parece genial. Y pues creo que después nos va a contar lo de la fotografía, pero pregúntale, que yo sé que se vienen buenas preguntas, amigo.
Bueno, primero, yo sé que fuiste de los afortunados en estar compartiendo pantalla con Lee Byung-hun y obviamente sabemos Kang Ho-sun. Eso es declaración de emergencia, es una historia completamente loca sobre todos esos enlaces en un avión y todo ese concepto. Y yo quiero preguntarte sobre cómo ha sido, por ejemplo, la percepción que tú tienes sobre todas esas historias de vuelos. ¿Crees que en Corea ha cambiado algún estereotipo, por ejemplo, en Corea del Sur, sobre lo que se visualiza tanto en la historia en Japón, en Tailandia, en todo ese tipo del mismo continente?
No, y sí, obviamente va a ser hincapié en que estuvo con esos actores. But it's crazy, Michael, because you appear on a movie that is called Emergency Declaration, and man, it stars the two biggest, or one of the two biggest, al mismo recognized names from Korea outside, that Hong Kang-soo and Lee Byung-hun. Yes, not only tell us what about this movie, this big movie, but the vision that got from this subject, because sometimes the movies about plane crashes and emergencies tend to have some stereotypes. But I mean, by the way, I love these two actors. I really need to watch that movie, and in fact, knowing that I told to you, so tell us more about this experience working with two of the biggest names and a big movie about this subject.
Yeah, that's this movie I'm looking forward to seeing more than anything I've done so far. It hasn't been released here in Korea because of COVID, so I'm still waiting for a chance to see it. They, as far as I know, they only released it at the Cannes Film Festival last summer, and So in that movie, I had probably the biggest roles I've ever had, and I got to act with two huge actors, both Jhon Do-hyun and Song Kang-ho, who actually he doesn't even know this, but he taught me more than any other Korean actors taught me. Just watching him prepare for our scenes, and so I actually we have an argument in the movie. I don't know what I don't know if I could swear on your show, or do you bleep it out?
You can swear. You can swear.
I literally told Song Kang Ho to fuck off, get the fuck out of here. So it's my pride that I really took pride in that, and I can't wait to see that for sure. Why don't I let you translate before I keep going?
You can keep going, man, but we really need to see that movie, man. But I will translate. Jhon no se ha estrenado ni siquiera en Corea porque por el COVID y porque creo que se estrenó, están festivales, de hecho, es material de festival. Dice que, hombre, gracias por la pregunta, dice que tuvo el honor, y eso dice que sí lo saca con orgullo, de compartir incluso escenas con ambos, y dice que, y lo dice acá en el canal, esperamos obviamente lo escuche, que Song Kang-ho le enseñó más que cualquier persona. Spoiler un poco, bueno, no tanto spoiler, pero dice que tuvo el honor de insultarlo en la película.
Wow.
Dice que, o sea, imagínate, dice que, no voy a decir la grosería porque no suena tan bacano como en la boca de él, pero él dice que, o sea, imagínate, o sea, Jhon tiene todos los elementos, no dice mucho de la trama, dice que nos va a seguir diciendo. Continue, man.
Wow, man.
So I told you I learned a lot from him. Preparing for our scene, he's on one side of a barrier and I'm on the other side of the barrier, and there's a ton of extras. There could have been 100 extras in our scene. There were police officers on his side and some of his co-stars. My side, I had some assistants, and then I had security people holding me back. They're literally keeping us from fighting in this scene. And so while they're setting up the cameras, I was watching him and just sort of watching him prepare, and he'd be moving and getting in mindset in this argument. And it dawned on me like, oh, I should be doing the same thing. I need to be prepared like he is. And so I'm watching him, and he's occasionally he's muttering or yelling a little bit towards me, saying things. And so I thought, okay, good. I'm going to yell back at him. And the first time I did, it completely threw him. He made a joke, and I didn't understand a word of it. But we just sort of had this mini little argument in preparing ahead of time. And then before shooting our scenes, and of course they do many takes. They do different angles behind him and behind me and sides and everything. And I really look forward to seeing how they put that together. It's going to be interesting. But that was, again, I'm rich white asshole, to my best. In fact, that filming inspired me to change my profile picture to probably the one that you saw on IMDb and other places where I look angry. And why not? That's getting me roles. It can be my thing. I don't mind being that character at all. But so we argued and yelled and cussed out each other for a good 2 hours or so that day. When he was finished, he walked past me and he muttered something in Korean, and all I understood was "Yongo," which is Korean for English, and he kept walking. We never had a conversation between the two of us. We never actually spoke to each other, but man, that was a fun aspect. And then I've got another story about that I'll tell you, but I'll let you translate.
Man, I can hear every story. Jhon tiene más historias. Dice que gracias a esa actuación, que fue muy gracioso porque él decía que él viajó a Song Kang-ho concentrándose, y él dijo, oh, creo que tengo que hacer lo mismo. Tú sabes que es un actor de método, Entonces dice que en la primera escena como que fue muy gracioso porque como que la embarró en el sentido de que él le decía cosas y este no respondía. Entonces él le decía como que no, como que responde. Se hizo la escena buenísimo, así una barrera con los policías y todo eso. Es una escena que es muy importante en la película. Bueno, o sea, esperemos que salga, obviamente. Pero él dice que gracias a esa escena fue que él cambió incluso la foto de perfil. Dice que a mí no me importa si me siguen contratando para este tipo de
Es,
papeles. Esto, obvio, me encantó la foto. Y dice que tiene continue, man.
no, continúa.
Dale, go ahead, keep
So,
telling more. If you
well,
want it.
so I mentioned something earlier about not being flustered or not even recognizing famous people when I meet them. Before my scenes with Jhon Do-yeon, my agent is sort of leading me everywhere I need to go. Here in Korea, when you have a role in a movie, you'll usually have a agent who sticks with you the whole day, and they're there to translate for the director, translate for anybody who needs translation, and they just sort of make sure you get to every place you need to. They're sort of in between the production and you. Um, so she leads me to where the director is and his monitors and where he's watching, and they're preparing for the next scene. And she introduces me to a lady and says, "Oh, this is Jhon Do-yeon." I say, "Manaso ban갑습니다." Like in my mind, I don't know who she is. I just know how to say, "It's nice to meet you," and be polite. And then we're watching the monitors and watching stand-ins for us preparing as they're getting the lights set and they're doing everything else. And then it dawns on me, oh, she must be somebody important because they never do stand-ins for me. You know, I'm there. This is not, and then it dawned on me. Oh, they're preparing our scene. This is that actress. I didn't even understand her name when they first told me. Uh, I'm so oblivious to who's famous, who's not famous in Korea, and uh, and I like being that way. Actually, I love the idea. If like you asked if I fantasize about being a lead actor, no, I don't fantasize about that. But I do fantasize about maybe ending up at a premiere for a movie or something like that, where then I'm being introduced to all these famous actors that are in the movie, and I don't know who any of them are really. I mean, I'm not a fanboy of any of their movies, although I completely respect Song Kang-ho more than any other actor I can name, because I enjoyed Parasite so much. I thought that was a genius movie. His role in was the movie called Snowpiercer also?
Yes, Snowpiercer.
Uh, yeah, his role in Snowpiercer, I really admired that, as knowing that here he is a Korean actor who's really kind of broken into Hollywood, but not the ways that the typical Korean actor breaks into Hollywood. Usually, it's the ones who are fluent in English and they're young and they'll play the Korean doctor. They'll do these other parts, right? Here he is. He's kind of an older guy like me, and his roles are not about his English ability. They're more about his character, and so I really admire him maybe more than any other Korean actor. But I swear, if I bump into him on the street today, I would still not recognize him for some reason.
But I hope, before I translate and move on to the final question, I hope that you also share screen with Choi Min-sik. My two favorite Korean actors are Song Kang-ho and Choi Min-sik. But I will translate. John, pasó algo muy gracioso y que esto es lo que él nos quería contar, de que él usa pues de la cuestión de ser esto extranjero para pues, es que él dice que él no fantasea con los actores, obviamente, que sí admira muchísimo a Song Kang-ho por los papeles, pero que le pasó algo muy gracioso. Estaba con el agente y estaba al lado de una persona y pues se dio cuenta que esa persona como que estaba mirando pantalla, o sea, como que le estaba dando mucho tiempo y todo. Él no sabía que era Jhon Do-yeon. Y después fue que le dijeron como que no, es que ya no es estrella y todo. Él, pero pues yo tengo esa cualidad que incluso él dice, yo puedo encontrar a Song Kang-ho en la calle y no sé quién es. Pero que aún así, y que eso le favorece, que él de hecho incluso fantasea con que un día llega una premiere de una película que incluso él haga un buen papel y aún así lo presenten como, oh, mire, te presentamos a los actores. Y que eso le parece hasta más interesante, que como que digan como que, oh, no, miren, es Michael y Bravo.
Bueno, como última pregunta, pero yo sé que antes tú vas a preguntar lo último sobre su rol de fotógrafo. Bueno, vamos a hablar sobre Squid Game, el juego de Calamar. Muchos lo están esperando y pues realizaste en 2 episodios. El episodio en donde como más tiene cierta parte como de participación Michael es en los beats, entonces los VIPs. Entonces yo te quiero preguntar sobre, bueno, cómo fue compartir pantalla nuevamente con Jhon y también sobre, es una locura porque yo viendo todos los wiki datos de Squid Game, muy poco se visualiza del VIP 6, entonces yo quiero saber anécdotas sobre ello.
You may know that this question was going to happen because, yes, man, the Squid Game is everywhere. In Latin
Yeah.
America, it was a hit in whole world, and you appear in 2 episodes. In the most,
Right.
in the episode that you appear in the more, of course, on the VIPs. Not only tell us about the experience being on the biggest show on the planet from the last year, but in the wiki somehow they kind of got less information about the VIPs. So if you can reveal something about yes, being a VIP in this series, a little, I don't know, interesting data, recording it, because man, I know this is a hobby for you, but it's crazy being in a hobby and being in a role in the biggest series, man. It even won the, I think it won the SAD Awards. I don't know. It's crazy. Tell us more about the Squid Game, and we wrap up this, man.
Oh, no problem. Well, we've got another hour of recording, right? Because we could talk about this all day.
No.
Now, I'll tell you what, none of us VIPs expected that we were partaking in something so big. Nobody expected that. We don't see the whole script. We only see the script that pertains to us. And what we saw was not anything. I think it was not quite the same as the rest of the show. Because even as a viewer, I was so deeply enthralled in the show and everything until episode 7 when the VIPs appear. And they're like, oh, who the hell are us? Who are we guys? Like, we kind of threw it a little bit. But you said, like, tell us more about the VIPs. I want to know more about the VIPs as well. Netflix sent me a subscriber questionnaire not long after I finished watching it, and they were asking about what would you like to see? Would you like to see more? And I said, I want to see Squid Game 2. And then they asked deeper questions. They wanted to know, what would you like to see in the story? And I said, I want to know all about the VIPs, more on the VIPs, especially that one in the back on the left. And I want to know his story. And so far they haven't called me. So I think I'm probably the only person in the questionnaire who said, I want to know more about that guy. But I have so that, I mean, the best thing about being part of Squid Game is that it actually plays a part in my photography, because when I'm photographing clients, and if the conversation comes up, because sometimes I photograph tourists when they're coming, and so then if they tell me they're into the K-dramas, then I have to tell them I was part of Squid Game, and because it gives them a thrill, to know that they're meeting somebody from it. And again, this is part of my thinking and why we were thinking about the mockumentary is they get so excited, and to me, it's like, no, it was just this little part, and just a lot of fun. So let me let you translate, and then I will continue on.
No, in fact, before, and that can even be added to the mockumentary. I know Squid Game was the big.
Trust me, this might become inspiration in the mockumentary. Again, this might be an inspiration for a scene in it too. Now that we're doing this,
man, if you name us or you name the channel, we will be very pleased. Oh my God! No,
I'll come back. Yeah, I'll reach back out to you guys if we go that far, and we'll really ham it up, and it would be fun, wouldn't it? I'll be a complete asshole to work with. I'm too famous, and I won't be pouring my own coffee in the mockumentary. I'll have my assistant here doing it.
But this can be like an inside joke because yes, we are very very thankful that you are giving us the interview. Man, this channel is crazy because we are not a big channel, but we are having the loot to interview so many people from so many backgrounds, and it will be crazy because you could say, "Oh, they interview me from the outside, but it's not CNN, but it's a channel about." Oh man, this got so
Oh no,
many legends.
I'm honored to be a part of your channel because some of the people you've interviewed. What's his name from Groundhog Day
Stephen Tobolowsky.
Yeah, Steven. Oh, I've admired him for a long time. So I'm like, why do you guys want me? But it's okay.
You can use it for no. In fact, I wanted one of the other shows that I love from Korea is Kingdom. I know Kingdom will come back. I hope they call you. I don't know if they add some kind of miss between I don't know races in. But I love that show.
I do have like a little bucket list where things I want to do. I'd love to be a zombie, and I would love to get killed on television or on in something. You know, I'd love to have bullet get shot up or something. You know, or you know, just I want to die on screen. It would be. That's when it's a hobby. You just think of the fun things you could do, right?
Yes. And don't worry because this channel is also our hobby. In fact, Jhon and myself, we are not winning money from this, but it's the best hobby in the world, man. And thank you. Okay, I will translate. Jhon, es que te tengo una noticiota. Bueno, ¿cómo empiezo? Hombre, cuando él terminó de hacer el visionado de la serie, Netflix le envió un cuestionario y le hizo la pregunta sobre qué persona, ¿quieres saber algo más sobre los VIPs? Y él dijo, sí, quiero saber más sobre el VIP 6. Extrañamente Netflix no le respondió la llamada, él no sabe si salga la siguiente temporada, porque no se sabe si aumenten la trama de él como VIP, pero, spoiler, si se hace segunda temporada de Squid Game, sí se va a saber más sobre la vida de los VIPs. Wow. Dice que él desea saber, exacto. 2, dice que probablemente, y nos va a llamar, va a incluir esta entrevista o cosas de la entrevista en el documental que está haciendo. I told him, Jhon, about the mockumentary. And maybe we can be included. And Jhon, es que es muy gracioso porque él cada vez que la gente va, de hecho él fotografía turistas, que por cierto, sí quisiera preguntarle al final qué redes sociales para ver sus fotos. Y que siempre pasa algo muy gracioso porque él le dice a los turistas como forma, pues no de broma, pero sí como de tip. Siempre dice, oh, ¿a ustedes les gustan los K-dramas? Sí. Ah, pues yo salí en Squid Game. Entonces la gente enloquece y para él es como que no, pero eso fue muy... O sea, como que sí dije mis líneas y eso. Él dice, incluso le dije que sería muy interesante pues incluirnos acá porque hay muchas bromas por hacer. O sea, él dice que, le dije, ¿me puedes decir que te entrevistó al extranjero? Pero no fue CNN, dijo, nos admira muchísimo. O sea, cuando él vio eso, dice que él no entiende por qué lo estamos entrevistando, si entrevistamos a Tobolowsky. Y yo le dije como que, I'm telling Jhon the thing that you say that what we are interviewing, and Jhon said, oh man, no man, you deserve to be here, man. It's crazy. Oh, no, man. You don't have to ask why, man. You are in the perfect place, man. You deserve being here most as Tobolowsky and all the people that we have been having here. Jhon dice que continue, man. Oh,
okay.
You are so pleased to have you here, man.
Well, and I've already said my side of that, so I'll go on. So my journey with Squid Game actually started about a year before the filming, so then it was basically a good year and a half, almost 2 years before it aired. I was asked to make an audition video for an agent I hadn't worked with before, so I wasn't really familiar. I didn't know anything about them. And they sent me a script, and then also she arranged for another actor to come to my apartment, and we worked together to film it because it had 2 parts in it. And we were both sort of, as far as we knew at that time, we were both trying to get the same part. And what they did was they made a script that was just sort of an amalgam of all the different VIPs. So some of the lines from the final script were in it, but it wasn't necessarily one VIP or another VIP. It was a little bit from all of them. And in this audition script, we had to act like we're being pleasured, to put it PG, right? At some point, and so it got it's a little bit sexual, and both of us, me and the other guy, were just like, "What are we doing? What is this we're auditioning for? Is this like Korean porn or something?" We're wondering all these things. The other actor, he's a professor at a university, and he was a little bit scared. Like, I don't even think I could do this part. My school might not be happy with me because they have ethics standards. Maybe they have to maintain. And so, but we did it, and we did. Neither one of us were comfortable there. So we obviously didn't do a good job. Neither of us got the part, and didn't hear another thing about it. And then separately, a different agent who I've done a lot of work for, they contacted me and said, "Hey, are you available next Tuesday to have a cast made of your face? If you are, I've got a part for you." And I was available. So I said, "Okay, sure. I'll do it." And the first thing we did was we went and had to have a custom cast made of our faces, all the actors. And then I kind of started learning a little bit about what we're going to do. We're some kind of VIPs. There's 6 of us. And I know they had originally planned on 4, and late in the process, they decided to add 2 more. And that's how I ended up getting picked up. I was, I'm VIP number 6. Maybe I'm the last guy they actually filled. So we go through that process. We do a little filming. I think we did the elevator scenes, and we did the helicopter, exiting the helicopter. We did all that in December of 2020, and we still didn't see the whole set. We only saw just a small portion of it. In fact, we were in a whole different location than when we filmed the rest of it, where we're in those living room sets, and we have the body painted models around us, and they when we walked into that set, I think everybody was stunned. I was shocked. I hadn't seen a set where so much money was spent on it. It was amazing. I'll give you a chance to translate.
Okay, man. No, in fact, there are many memes on the internet, because Squid Game sometimes sound like a hentai movie from Japan about the thing, the sexual innuendo. But man, I will translate. That was amazing. Jhon, wow. Uf, esto es un dato bacanísimo. El primero audicionó con un profesor, de hecho. Y es que es muy gracioso porque primero se le acercó una gente. Audicionó una escena que tenía un contenido sexual grandísimo, que el profesor se sintió incómodo. Dijo, yo no creo que pueda hacer esto porque pues en mi colegio hay unas reglas. Ustedes que en Corea son muy estrictos. Ahí no tuvo el papel. Lo loco es que otro agente, amigo de él, bueno, cliente de él, lo llamó, le dijo, solo vamos a hacer una audición para tu rostro. Hicieron maquetas de los rostros. Es una locura porque solo habían 6 roles y después agregaron 2 más, y por eso él quedó como el 6, VIP 6. Pero o sea, eso fue como que, uy, espere, como que ya los tenemos, metamos más, porque se puso interesante lo de los VIPs. Dice que es una locura porque primero solo habían grabado, o sea, digamos que hubo escenas que se empezaron a agregar. O sea, él grabó primero elevadores, helicópteros, pero que cuando se grabó la escena, obviamente, del cuarto de los VIPs con las modelos, él dice que para todos fue muy surreal, porque dicen que nunca en la vida, incluso gente que ya muchos años habían visto un set tan caro en Corea. Eso fue una locura, que eso fue surreal. Lo loco es que el novio tenía el papel la primera vez y lo tuvo una segunda vez. O sea, wow. Continue, man.
So when we enter that grand hall, I tell you that, like, sometimes the directors have plans that just don't work out, and in this case, they had this vision that all 6 of us are going to come through these doors and extravagantly take our champagne from the guys on the side and continue down those stairs. Those stairs were crazy high. I mean, they put all the money into this. Those stairs were probably 2-story, good 2+ stories high. And they thought, oh, we come through and we just keep walking and nice and smooth. But when they created the masks, we had no range of vision. We could see, it was like you're looking through your hands and you can see like only a little bit in front of you. You can't see down, you can't see the sides. So we come through the doors and we're all just kind of like looking, trying to see anything. And you can't just go to the steps and start walking. You've got to be able to see where you're walking. And so, as you probably noticed in the final version, it was very chopped up. It was not this grand entrance that they had envisioned completely, just because we couldn't see through those masks. It was you could literally see straight in front of you, like looking through binoculars almost, without the additional zooming. Then, oh my goodness, those sets, the sets when we're down there are just incredibly beautiful. The body painted models. So I had no lines when we originally started filming. I was just a glorified extra, and then we had these 2 the slaves that for every sofa, every couch had 2 slaves on it, and I got to know one of the slaves, the guy that was fanning me. He was sick the whole time, and so really we kind of kept the distance. He kept the distance from everybody, and fortunately didn't get us all sick. This is even during COVID, so we're all a little bit scared. On the other side, Lana has become a really good friend. She's one of my better friends here in Korea. I've photographed her many times, but it was her first movie, I think, as well. And so we kind of made a game. We had no lines. And I had a little bit of confidence by the time we're filming that, because I had some experience. And I know they're not going to yell at us. I know they're not going to get mad if we try to ad-lib something or try to steal some attention. So we just kind of made a game between us, and we were keeping track of how many times we could steal lines or steal attention. And so I would have her, if the camera was in front of us on VIP 1, I think it was, that was Jhon Michaels, another really good friend after this filming. But if the camera was on him, we knew we were in the background, so I would use her as a prop and do something. I would use her as action. I'd put my glass on her hand, or I would lean on her, or I was using her because my thinking was that's what we would do if we're these crazy rich old men who are so insane about the gambling on lives like this. We wouldn't just ignore the slaves who are next to us either. So I put my feet up on her. I took advantage of her presence, and of course she enjoyed it too, because we literally were counting the number of times that they would either throw a new line at us to say, or they would film something in front of us, and then they would move the camera rig to us and they'd say, okay, do exactly what you did before. And that's how we knew we stole some attention. And we kept a tally during the 3 days of filming.
Jhon, hago un paralelo. Esto dice que en la primera audición fue una locura porque les enviaron en un guión todas las líneas que después salieron en la serie. Es una mezcla de todo cuando hasta ahorita estaban creando eso. Pero aquí ocurre algo increíble. ¿Sabes por qué la escena de la gran entrada de ellos se cortó? Porque tú sabes que se corta en la escena final. Porque las máscaras no se podía ver nada. Entonces era muy normal que tropezaran, que todo, porque en realidad eran 2 huequitos. Pero pasó algo increíble. Se logró como una camaradería con los que hicieron de esclavos, sea, de hecho, el que le echaba aire con el abanico estaba como enfermo, entonces era muy extraña la grabación ese día porque era como que, pues fue durante el COVID, entonces como que, uy, que no pase nada. Pero Lana, que obviamente esto fue uno de los primeros roles de ella, y también obviamente Michael Davis, el VIP número uno, tú sabes, que también es un buen amigo. Ellos hicieron una especie como de juego interno porque al principio los VIPs no tenían líneas. Luego los guionistas le fueron dando líneas cuando dieron cuenta que los papeles de ellos eran muy importantes y había una especie como de juego interno donde el director nunca los regañó, donde ellos lanzaban líneas o escenas que al final las agregaban. O sea, de hecho, por eso las escenas de él subiendo las piernas por encima de los esclavos, las escenas de, o sea, increíblemente muchas de esas escenas fueron improvisadas y fueron dejadas. O sea, imagínate. Yo no sé si tenga más nada algo que
No,
decir.
dale un aplauso a Michael.
Bravo, Michael.
Michael.
Que foto, bueno, Michael, as a final, please give your social media so people can follow you. If you wanna give your social media so people can see your pictures, it will be great. If you got a new project or something you wanna tell, man, the camera is yours. Send a big hi to Colombia, to the people that is watching. If you wanna tell more, if I interrupt you and you wanna tell more about the Squid Game, go ahead, man. But if you don't, say your social media, send a hi to the channel, and let us know about anything you wanna mention, man.
Oh, okay, good. Actually, I was kind of thrilled when you guys contacted me to know you're from Colombia. One of my foreign friends here is also Colombian, and he's a really talented videographer. I'll give you my social media to let you add it to the bottom, but it tends to be a little bit long. It wasn't well thought out when I set up my Instagram, so rather than just trying to say it and have people keep track, I'll just let you link it or something. Yeah, of course, we could go on all day with stories about Squid Game. Actually, I'll tell you, Squid Game might be the death of my acting career, though, too. Like as you guys know, the reviews for the VIP parts were not so hot, and for somebody like me, I can laugh it off. It's no problem. But I mean, the guys that are professionals there, I feel bad for them because we were playing with, like, we thought we were making something kind of corny. We really didn't realize it was a serious show. And we were constantly making 69 jokes in our script was that. And it became a joke among us. Like, are you sure we've said enough 69 jokes? Let's think of something else we could say. And some of the lines, like when I had to say something like, oh, give mercy to those miserables or something to that effect, I had no idea what I was speaking to, because we didn't know the whole setup. We didn't know that, what was happening in the show at that time. And when I saw it, I immediately thought that made no sense. That was bad. And I think there were so many complaints about the VIPs, or the reviews weren't that great, right? So I can imagine that maybe if there is such a role for foreigners in Squid Game 2, they'll probably fly in actors from Hollywood just to save face, right? Like thinking that, we bombed it or something. But it's also kind of, there's the grandeur of the hall kind of went against the guys too, because all of their lines couldn't really be spoken normally, because you were so far away from the other actor, and you're speaking through a mask that didn't have any holes for the mouth, or if they did, I can't remember for sure. Maybe they were so small. It really, they worked against that pretty heavily. So I understand. My main thing I do here is I'm a freelance photographer. I just opened a studio a couple of months ago with a Korean partner, and I do both commercial photo shooting and I shoot people. I love shooting people. I've got I'm trying to develop or further develop my own style, and I shoot a lot of actors and a lot of models here. And then I even about 3 times a week now that tourism is coming back. I'm even going out and photographing tourists in Hanbok, or even just strolling through a park. I photographed a group of high school friends yesterday in one of the parks here, and if any of those people want to talk Squid Games, I mean, we end up having these same conversations.
Didn't know that you're a photographer, and we really admire that career. In fact, one of the members of the channel that is not here is a photographer. I will tell about your work.
Oh.
Jhon, esto como una final, como nunca les revelaron de qué iba la serie, él dice que por eso, y él dice que él le da risa, pero sí se siente mal por los demás actores, que, por ejemplo, esa línea de dale de comer a esos miserables.
Ah, sí, yo me acuerdo.
Él dice que no tenía sentido, pero es que él nunca le dijeron de qué iba. Entonces él dice que obviamente que no sabe si vuelvan a llamar a él como a los VIPs, porque las críticas le dieron durísimo a las actuaciones, porque ellos sentían que estaban haciendo algo como cómico y no algo dramático, pero nunca les dijeron. Además de que muchas cosas jugaban en contra, por ejemplo, en la máscara no había un espacio para hablar, entonces ellos generalmente le estaban hablando a la nada, o sea, no había, y que pues el salón era enorme, o sea, él no sabía, ellos no sabían a quién le están diciendo las líneas. Dice que no, que obviamente igual ama hablar con la gente de Squid Game, él es fotógrafo, freelancer, bellísimo, de hecho incluso lo que más le fascina hacer es fotografía en la calle, a turistas, dice que ahorita el turismo está volviendo, entonces que 3/4 de su semana se van en eso. Obviamente le dije a Jhon, a nuestro amigo Jhon Sebastián, que vamos a compartir parte de su obra porque a mí me fascina la fotografía.
Claro, que nos envía a través de Gmail. Y yo te quiero preguntar, Michael, esta es tu primera entrevista y obviamente cuando la gente te pide, bueno, que tú hablas sobre que tú estuviste en Squid Game, tú le dices, por ejemplo, a la gente líneas en coreano, líneas en todo eso, explotando, no sé. Ese dato curioso que tengo.
Like curious date, this is the first interview that you do in the foreign press, or in terms of interviews, so we can know. And yes, when the people ask you, or when you tell to the people about that you were on the Squid Game, you say lines to the people in Korean. Oh no.
Ooh. Let me think about, my Korean is so terrible. 안녕하세요. That's my best. My best Korean is for around the restaurants. You know, I can order alcohol and food, and I know how to make sure they know how much I love their food afterwards with 잘 먹었습니다, which means, oh, I ate very well. And I tell you, if any of your viewers are coming to Korea, you will do so well to know that line, 잘 먹었습니다, that I ate very well, because when you're finished with your meal, you're leaving the restaurant, those ajuma, the older ladies that run the restaurants, will be so happy to hear. And when you're like me and you're surviving in Korea and you enjoy the food, that's so valuable. Yeah, actually, so this is, other than one friend of mine with a very small channel and no reach, and he's a good friend, so I can say he sucked as an interviewer. This is definitely my first interview with anybody. When the real press, the bigger news, when they interviewed VIPs early on, they were interested in the first 3 VIPs, right? I mean, those are the main guys in it, and so they were the ones who they interviewed. So you guys reached really deep to get to me.
And I hope we don't suck, man. No,
you guys are great. This has been so fun, and yes, it's really nice to see your enthusiasm.
Okay, I will translate, and then I will take the final picture so we can share to the social media. And then, Jhon, que aparte de un canal de un amigo que él dice que es tan buen amigo que no le importa decir que apesta, somos el primer medio, dice que cuando la
Es-
prensa grande se le acerca, solo le pregunta a los 3 primeros VIPs, dice que nosotros fuimos hondísimo, o sea, dice que está sorprendido. Entonces yo le dije que si nosotros apestamos, dijo que no apestamos, eso es lo bueno. Dice que en Corea
es-
hay una frase que él dice, la frase que él repite es muy buena porque es la mejor frase que le pueda enseñar a cualquier persona, pues si está en un restaurante, mostrar respeto. Esa frase significa lo que comí me encantó.
yes.
Best
Okay.
photo, man.
Déjame guardarla un momentico, por favor.
He will say the picture. You can listen to the music, man. People here is crazy in Colombia. I don't know if you can listen to.
Is that real behind you, the rocks?
Yes.
That's so cool. I can tell his background is fake, but I was watching yours and like, that's so cool, but that's not fake.
No,
You
no.
just you found a cave with good Wi-Fi, huh?
Yes, no. In fact, this house in which I live like more than 20 years, um, before it was like I don't know how to say it. There was here lives an old lady that got fish. Yes, like fish ponds so people can fish, and it's crazy because this house is old. And yes, we kind of recovered some parts, but this house we get it, but my family get it very not expensive, very
Oh,
cheap because it's an old, really old house. But I love this house because in my city, Cucuta, these old houses are getting lost, man. The new buildings are against this old architecture, but no, man, I
yeah.
love it. Thank you for the
Sadly
compliment.
that's happening in Korea too, where all the old neighborhoods are getting torn down and they're putting big, tall apartment buildings, and it's I mean, I live in one of the little bit older neighborhoods, and the apartments have character and beauty to them, and you're surrounded by these towers. I mean, I can look out my window and the view is a brand new apartment complex that the towers over us. Yeah, it's kind of sad seeing the changes like that.
No, I feel pleased because Cucuta is not one of the biggest cities from Colombia. It's growing, of course, but I still live on a neighborhood, so I don't
Yeah.
see a lot of buildings. Bogota, it's another story. Bogota is a big city. But no, man, thank you, John. ¿Vas a decirle algo? No sé, yo
No,
soy
muchas
feliz.
gracias por la oportunidad, que me alegra que le haya gustado y no, mucho éxitos.
No,
Hey,
man, thank you for the opportunity.
I'll respond to I'll send a reply to the email I have for you guys and send my Instagram and my website link.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, I really would appreciate that. Like everybody on Instagram, I'm a whore for followers. So
Yes.
we're past the interview, right?
It's okay. John dice que nos va a enviar el correo las redes. Dice que así en la entrevista después lo empiezan a molestar en Instagram, dice que no importa. Y que él cuando creó el Instagram, ese nombre es porque él no había pensado jamás en crear un Instagram. Por eso es que ese nombre tan largo y tan complicado. Creo que tú sabes muy bien eso. No, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, man. Hey, good luck for you guys with your channel.
Thank you.
I wish all the best.
Thank you, man.
See you.
Bye bye.
God bless you. Bye.